Well, this morning while reviewing the leadership, I did tell you about a story which seemed interesting to me, and it turns out that we're going to be sinking our teeth into that matter. Yari others to lose seats as appeal court voids Zamfara APC primaries. That was how the leadership captioned that story. This morning in our studios, we have with us Honorable Aminu Jaji, who is a former APC governorship aspirant in Zamfara State and currently a chairman, House Committee on Security. You're welcome, Honorable.
Thank you.
We also have with us Dr. Ahmed Adamu, who is the special assistant on to Atiku Abubakar on youth and strategy. You're welcome, Doctor.
Thank you so much.
Now, you have seen this has come almost like a lightning bolt, so to speak, and it would seem there are consequences. It would seem that all the members elected on the platform of your party are going to be losing their seats. Is that the consequence? Before we go into the matter now, is that going to be the consequence of the ruling of the Court of Appeal from Sokoto?
Well, actually, we can say the consequences. You know, everybody that contested under this court order is going to lose his seat. But it does not mean that APC lost out completely, because you know the way it is already is Governor who did his own primaries, while on the 7th of October last year, we have already held a truce between all the party concerned, or maybe all the aspirants in Zamfara State, from the governorship aspirant to the State Assembly, because of the violence that erupted during the conduct of that primaries. So we decided to go for consensus, and which unanimously agreed by all parties that this is our stand. And then just 2 days after we finished our consensus, then the INEC went ahead to preempt the decision of our great party. So, you know, to me, the consequences is not within the is not for the people that are on the consensus list. It's for the people that are under the Yari kangaroo primaries.
So I guess that's where the PDP, that's where you come in, because I'm sure you would disagree with him.
Yes. It
is interesting in the first, I think it's very important to state that it was someone within the APC, Senator Marafa to be more precise, who has challenged the primaries conducted. Recall that there was there were fears that the APC would not be able to field candidates in Zamfara State because INEC said you did not witness any primaries that you conducted in Zamfara State. But now you talk about consensus candidates. How do you think, or how does your party come in here? You think that that might not be the case? You think you're the ones who are going to be the beneficiaries of this judgment as a result of what has happened? Why do you think that?
Well, of course, because the APC did not follow the law, what the rules has been earmarked by the INEC. INEC said there is a particular deadline for which parties must submit their candidate's name, and that deadline has elapsed, and APC did not fill any name. And they did not hold any valid or legitimate primary election in Zamfara State. And until the election eve, APC had no candidates for the gubernatorial election. And they maneuvered their way to secure a judgment in draconian way so that they can participate in the election. And even the INEC went ahead, though they didn't have the names filled from APC, they still went ahead and printed ballot papers including APC in those ballot papers, which to tell you that even INEC itself can be compromised. So they went to the election with that judgment. And now we have a new judgment that says that judgment that was given by the Zamfara High Court is void, which means APC has no right to fill candidate in the election. APC should not participate in the election. And that's what this new judgment is saying in Sokoto. It's now saying all those that participated in the gubernatorial election, they are not legitimately filled in. And therefore, whatever happens, including the candidates and the votes they got, become void. So everything is being annulled by this judgment, which means that if they got the majority vote, meaning that they are no longer having that as legitimate vote. which means that we have to look at other parties, what they have. If we have other parties participating in the election, then we have to count their vote. And if they have fulfilled the requirement for winning the election, then they should be declared as winners. And that's why we are saying this comes as a benefit to the PDP, because PDP is likely to take over Zamfara. And this has further demonstrated how APC themselves are polarized. And all this is about personal interest. It's not about the interests of the people. And the Governor Ayari himself is also fighting for his interests. What is called Marafa's group is also fighting. They are also fighting for themselves. Through this fight, they are likely to lose everything now.
You had gone to court before now, and someone might argue that he has a point in the sense that it would seem that the judgment, what the judges sought to achieve, and which was a unanimous decision amongst these judges, was teach political parties, perhaps using your own party as some sort of scapegoat, a bitter lesson. That was what they said, a bitter lesson, because you have to follow your own guidelines. Isn't that what the judgment said?
Going by what the judges said yesterday, they said that this judgment will serve as a death front, meaning that if any governor wanted to do what Governor Yadi did, the same thing will happen to him. Not APC. They are not reporting to APC anymore.
Not the political party?
No anymore. Because you know one thing that we need to understand. What my brother is trying to say, the issue of primaries. We APC, we have three options: direct, indirect, and consensus. Then we fail to conduct direct and indirect, but we go for the last option, that is consensus. If I may ask him, PDP in Zamfara, even what we did to sit down in Zamfara to agree on who is going to be this and that, they didn't do that one. So for me, it's this is just like maybe the INEC. That is what I said last year. I was here. The INEC conspire with maybe opposition party to even write this letter, because they don't have ground to even write a letter to us that you did not do primaries, and then we are not expecting anything from them. It is not a matter of submitting names to the INEC, according to what my brother was saying. No, but what we are trying to say here is, going by Section 36 of the Electoral Act, what we are expecting from any political party is to submit names. If there are issues within the party, it is not INEC to come and say that you have issue. They don't have problem. They are not supposed to intervene or interfere in any party process. But for me, it is now the right time.
They are not supposed to intervene, but we know that INEC should witness. INEC should observe
going by section,
party primaries. So if they say that we did not witness any party primaries,
going by section 86, that they are to monitor the primaries. Good. But if maybe you can ask INEC in Zamfara State, do they interfere or monitor any process of any political parties in the state? That's number one. Number two, whereby what happened in Kano, they only submitted names. They sat down maybe somewhere in Kaduna or Abuja. They just decided to send the names to the INEC without going to the Kano to conduct primary without its consensus on it. But nobody, INEC was not saying anything, was not issuing any warning sign or signal to anybody. So that is why, for me, I say that it is the right time for the INEC to come out to even apologize for the APC for what they did first in Zamfara State.
I wanted to ask you to hold your thoughts for us. When we come back, we'll also be asking how the PDP wants to profit from this. Were they a party to the suit? Was their name mentioned in the judgment at all? In a moment, please stay with us. Yes, we're still talking about this Zamfara matter. The appeal court sitting in Sokoto has nullified. Should I say nullified now? Trying to, well, they avoided the primaries of the APC. I have to choose my words very carefully because it's a pre-election matter, and a pre-election matter is what the courts can sit on. I think only an election petition tribunal could have the powers, I'm not a lawyer, to nullify an election. I don't think it has to do with the election per se, but it's the primaries. And I still have with me my guests in the studio. Gentlemen, before we, and you could correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I'm trying my best not to use the wrong terminologies in this matter. But you are saying that you should profit from this ruling, that the primaries were not conducted That's what the appeal court is saying now, and that, you know, you should be the one to profit from it because you believe that it's both the APC and its candidates that are affected by this judgment. But your name was not mentioned in the judgment. How do you hope to profit from it?
Well, this is a crisis from the APC, and the suit case was also filed by APC members, accusing their own members of irregularities. And this is what APC has been characterized. He even mentioned it, that even in Kano there was no primary election. And this is further to tell you that APC has no internal democracy, and it's all about favoritism. And we've seen it in many other states where bona fide members of APC wanted to contest in the primary, in the ESCO election at ward level and local government level, but they were denied access. And all this saga started from filling the executive position of the party at ward level. And that's where Governor Yari fixes people all over. And these guys, their faction, also, they were not given the chance. And this is what brought all this case up to the primary election, where Governor Yari denied the members to participate freely in the primary election. And after everyone has gone home, and then he came back and conducted his kangaroo primary election, while INEC officials have left. And now he sent the names to the national body saying that we have conducted primary election. And now the court is saying, yes, there was no conduct of primary election in Zamfara. And what this appeal court is saying is that even the Zamfara High Court didn't look at the evidence presented to it before the election. And the way the ruling was acquired just on the eve of the election, let's tell you that APC is using judiciary to find their own way. Otherwise, in the first place, APC was not supposed to participate in the gubernatorial election. And we were surprised. We woke up in the morning and we saw ballot papers with APC logo on it.
Last minute,
it was not supposed to be on the ballot.
Last minute, they were included on it. And
yeah, last minute. And this is telling you that
miraculously,
miraculously, so you have to question the integrity of that judgment, and which is now being tested in the Sokoto Court of Appeal.
However,
and this has further proved that court that was sitting in Zamfara did not look at the evidences presented to it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have passed that judgment that APC should participate in the election.
I think we should be careful here because INEC is in a very difficult position. You, on one hand, are accusing INEC. On the other hand, you are also accusing INEC, saying that they should come out and say what their business is with your own internal party primaries. But then, you know, some people will say that this same judgment, something like this, is also happening in Rivers State, where INEC, or the APC, was not included on the ballot paper very specifically for, you know, going against court judgments. And nobody has come out to say we saw APC on the ballot. In the case where they were included last minute, if INEC was not able to include APC on the ballot, you are the same people who would also raise objections as well. What do you think should have happened in that instance?
Well, what happens in Rivers is different from what happens. Though
agreed. Even though at the end of the day,
APC,
inclusion of APC is what I'm talking about.
But here, like I told you, the Electoral Act said there are deadlines. There are guidelines which is going to be set out by the INEC. And the INEC said all parties must submit their names. And there was no consensus names presented to INEC. And INEC cannot conduct election without names. And that deadline has elapsed. And there's nothing INEC can do about that. And through this...
But you have not gone to court. Sorry, just before. You have your party hasn't gone to court to say, if this is the ruling, then we should be the ones to profit from it. There is no way APC people will go to court so that you will not benefit from it. Our party is also
going to tribunal.
Yes.
We are going to court to challenge that court ruling was not valid and that APC should not participate in the Zamfara election. And this is further support for us. It's making the job very easy for us. And it's up to INEC now to void all those results and now declare PDP as a winner.
Can you tell us what precisely you sought in court and how you think that this still benefits your party?
Good. As I said earlier, just like I said example with Kano, because Kano PDP does not conduct primaries anymore, but they went ahead to INEC and submit the names. That is why I said INEC conspired with opposition party, because we said it, we wrote to everybody that we did consensus out of the three options. So there is no way for PDP or any other political party to even claim the mandate of Zamfara people. Because this, it shows very clearly APC won all the seats in Zamfara state.
I'm asking, what relief did you seek from the court? And how does the benefit...
what I'm saying is...
How does it benefit the judgment?
What we ask, part of our prayers in court is that they should nullify the primaries, so-called primaries that Governor conducted, and which they did.
And do what?
Yes. The moment they nullify that one, that means, that is why they said, even according to the judgment, they said they set aside the judgment of higher court Gusau. So the moment they set aside the judgment of higher court Gusau, that means now is for the APC to feel legitimate candidate, which nobody is challenging it. That is the issue.
But that was not part of your prayer.
No, what I'm saying is, we don't need to put that one, because there is no way, let me repeat it, there is no way can INEC can stop political party from submitting names. There's no way. INEC cannot disenfranchise any political party. But that's what they went ahead to do. Even for them to went ahead to write to our party that you APC, we're not expecting you to submit names in Zamfara state because you did not conduct primaries. But what we expect from INEC is only a referee. They should wait. It is we that our party, if any member of the party who contests or who aspire to be in any position, that party submitted so names, but if you feel there is no justice to what they submitted, then you can
Yeah,
go
but
to
you
court.
have to do it within a certain time frame.
That,
Did you make the time frame?
Yeah, we did. We did everything within the stipulated time, because we did our truth in 7th October, and then that is the time. And then what that many people, they failed to understand, this time frame, they said time that 7th October is the deadline. You can start that process, and even if that process will take you up to the next day, provided you started and you initiated the process within the stipulated time, you are valid.
This is a party that, if I still remember what the options were, your party did not state consensus as one of the options that was given as a directive from the national.
No.
I think the talk was around direct and indirect
there is that one. Let me tell you one thing.
Was that the option of consensus?
No, there is that one. That's why I'm saying, I'm telling you, looking at the party has, the first thing that party need to do, our party is, they consider consensus first. Unless the people that are aspiring in such position, that major stakeholders, if they say that we don't want that one. Because initially, Governor he preferred or he proposed indirect primaries. But we, the aspirant, we objected that one. We said that we need to go for direct primaries so that we can give every current member of the party to be part of the selection or nomination whatsoever. So, because of the issues that came off, the first committee sent by the National Working Committee, they failed to conduct the primaries due to some issues. Then the second panel that came to conduct the primaries, then there is one issue which is the major challenge at that time. They came on 5th of October, and that time, we need to have a neutral body that will conduct the exercise. So somebody agreed that, okay, let's get the neutral body because we want to be too neutral that will conduct the exercise in each ward of the state. So after realizing that it is not going to be possible because of insecurity that is happening in the Zamfara state, you cannot go and conduct the direct primaries in all 147 wards that we have in the state. Now we asked the Commissioner of Police and all the security agents are there that, please, this is what we want with you guys. Please, do you have enough manpower so that we can conduct that primaries today? That is between today and tomorrow. They said categorically that now, because of the what happened in about 4 local governments within that days, that people were killed all over, they said that the best thing for you, you have to either bring all the people from this ward to another ward so that you can. But if we agree to do that one, it's like we're trying to create another problem within the state, because if there's insecurity, you have to be very, very careful in handling issues like that. So we said, finally, let's give all the aspirants, State Assembly, House of Reps, Senators, governorship aspirants, they should go meet with each other to start, to start the truce between themselves. Then that is what we did. And then that is what we agreed upon. And because we said that this consensus is part of our party constitution. So that is, so we legally we are binded by law. And then that's why we said, so now according to 36 of 31, then we can submit our names.
Shouldn't you be expecting a consequential judgment? Because this now is subject to so many interpretations. Here you have the PDP saying this is our victory. You believe that by virtue of the fact that the judgment in Zamfara was set aside, you automatically benefit, even though the judgment doesn't stipulate that. There are people who would also say that, the elections haven't been nullified. I mean, I think one of the reactions we are reading from the governor's camp is that their own elections have not been nullified and that they still stand.
Yeah.
So you have different,
one thing is, nobody can say that the election was not nullified. The election was not nullified. But what the court said that if they set aside the judgment of the higher court, that means they nullify the Ihari kangaroo primaries. That's what, that is number one. Then number two, then since our party legally, it meets all the requirements that the party can submit names, then the party can tender the names to the INEC because, okay, we contested for governorship, National Assembly, State Assembly, then all APC won the seat. That is why that board is still there for APC, and then nobody can nullify that one. And then for me, what the PDP people are saying, to some extent I laugh because it's normal for somebody to say that because there is that one, since we can we cannot find our way, we cannot win this election, let's wait for the chief partisans to come. So we can only wait for the chief partisans to come if truly we work for it, or there is any window that you can work with, and then you cannot expect, because our case is completely different with that of Rivers. So that is what people, they don't understand, because it is the National Working Committee that took even INEC to court. I said to the chairman, you don't need to do that one, because INEC must to come out and apologize to the people, to the APC, both national and in the state, because they don't have that right. You don't need even say anything to them. I said,
why should INEC apologize to you?
Good.
INEC says you did not conduct any primaries that they witnessed.
That's why.
What is wrong with that?
If, for example, if maybe this, the way that we are challenging this primaries of Governor, that is the only thing that we can say, okay, INEC, did you witness Governor primaries? They say, no, they didn't. That is all, because Governor is not in anywhere legally he don't have any right to conduct primaries. He don't have that right. So because of that, why INEC went ahead to wrote a letter to our party, while the same INEC, they didn't write to PDP in Kano. They allowed PDP to, just some days to election of the gubernatorial election in Kano, the Federal High Court in Kano said that the PDP candidate has no right to contest because he didn't come through ballot process, and then which everybody knows that one. That is why we are saying that I don't know why INEC, intervene or interfere in our process.
Yeah, but it's your party who came out to say that.
No, our party didn't say that one.
Through primary,
no, our party didn't say that one.
Primaries.
No, so please let me tell you.
Wasn't that what your party said?
No. What we are saying is we have three options: direct, indirect, and consensus. If you cannot do direct, you can go for indirect, or you can go for consensus, and we go for consensus. And there's no way.
You can go for consensus, but what I am saying, what I remember caused a huge controversy after the primaries were conducted across the entire length of the country within the APC was when your party said that they were going to go for direct or indirect primaries. And a consensus was not one of the options that
there is consensus, seriously.
That they presented.
No, there is consensus in the party primaries. I know there are states that they go for consensus, and finally they adopted that one, and then it worked with them. So, you know, anything that is legally binded, it is by law that our party constitution has these options. So we choose just to go for the consensus. So there's nobody can say that you don't have right to go for that one because it is not in our party constitution. It's already in our party constitution. So that means we are legally protected, and then there is no way somebody can say that no, this this your mandate, leave it. Let's give it to the another political party.
How do you see this playing out? How do you hope, if you think that this is going to be in your favor, what do you think the process will be for you to be able to claim it for yourself?
Now, first, what they need to know or to be reminded is you field candidates before election. You cannot field candidate after the election. You brought Mr. A, and this Mr. A, now court is saying his nomination or his fielding of his name in the election is void. So now this is your only chance in the election, and it's gone. So you are losing everything now. So the only thing you have is nothing. Yeah, and even the question you ask him is if there was consensus. Even if there was a consensus, Yari was not part of the consensus. And Yari, if you are talking about consensus, is everyone agreeing to it. And if Yari is not party to their own consensus, then they have to come for a common primary election, which they didn't do. And this came at their own cost. And we are now taking everything. Now, the next thing we need to do is now to take this judgment to another court. And we can still present this case to INEC and say, okay, these people's nomination, APC's nomination was void. It's void and it's nullified. Their participation is nullified. Then we need to look at the next party with the majority. And we didn't get this cheaply. It's not a cheaper way to get this election because we know we got our legitimate vote. But APC in Zamfara, they know how they got those votes because they didn't campaign. None of their candidates went for campaign, but PDP went around the state. And we've seen...
We saw their governorship candidate going around with the
How many states? How many local governments? You know, it's that's just a demonstration.
When you say they did not campaign, that might not be entirely true.
But that's just a mere demonstration to show that we are serious. But look at what's happening in Zamfara, the killings. Most of the people, they fled out of the states because they know that this APC not bring anything to them but crisis. How would they vote for APC in the first place? No. You act this way, even in localities where most people have went for refugees to neighboring states, they brought long lists, so many votes there. And where are the people? The people have fled. And now you are bringing highest number of votes from the crisis-affected local governments.
To your mind.
So this to tell you that there are some maneuvers and manipulation of the results in first place.
To your mind, how does this compare with the Rotimi Amechi case of the PDP in Port Harcourt? The judgment given by the Supreme Court as to it is the party that stands for elections, not exactly the candidate.
Yeah, in that case, there was a conduct of primary election.
Yes.
In Rotimi Amechi's case.
Yes.
But this one, there is none. There was none. There was no anywhere a primary election took place. So Rotimi had a case that, yes, I'm the legitimate candidate. Well, the other candidate had issues that, okay, the next person, I participated in the primary election, I should be given the chance. But this one, there was no primary election. And the only candidate, the candidates they presented, now the court is saying their nomination is void. And therefore, they should not have a candidate. And then there is no party, there is no APC. All the vote they got went on the waterway. So nothing for them.
Honorable Judge, I'll give you a chance to respond to that. Well, when we come back from this break, please hold your thoughts. Well, I still have with me Honorable Aminu Jaji and Dr. Ahmed Adamu. They're still in the studio talking about the recent court judgment from the Court of Appeal in Sokoto, nullifying the primaries conducted by the APC in Zamfara State. Now, you're going to quickly tell us how this compares with the Rotimi Amechi case. Is that what you're hoping will prevail in this case?
Yeah, because this one already there is legal primaries. That is what I want to put it. And then before even that one, I want to maybe bring Adamu so that let him understand it's something that you have limit to within which you can challenge an issue. You know, this one is a free election matter. It's only an APC member that can challenge that free election matter. So even for him, if he take the judgment to his maybe council, they sit down and they look at it, they know that really the PDP, they don't have anything to do with that judgment. And then going by what he said that we didn't go for campaign or something like that, is something that in Zamfara said we didn't need to do that one. Even if we say that we are not ready to go for campaign because PDP, they know that Zamfara state, it is not that state. We know that one. But what I'm saying in essence, you know, Rotimi Mechi is an example, clear example, because and then the issue of Kasina, Dore, Lado, and Masari, the people that contested under Lado platform, and then the other one that contested under Masari, you know, after they were even sworn into office, but at the end of the day, the court asked them to, because that is a pre-election matter, they asked them, and then the right people were taken over, not opposition party. So that is how it is. So it's only maybe, you know, this thing is about interpretation of of the law. So many people they interpret the laws based on understanding. You know, that is how many people, that's how they used to.
So quickly, just tell us in 30 seconds, if you can, how do you think this is going to proceed now? What is going to happen?
You know what is going to happen is for the party to went ahead to submit the legitimate consensus candidate to INEC. This is our candidate, so that INEC will ask the people that they gave certificate of return last week that you guys, you have to return your certificate of return if they are not part of the people that emerged through consensus. So that is, and then number two, and it is for the INEC to come out publicly to address, because it is now the right time for the INEC. INEC is an institution. They can do they can be right and they can be wrong. So you cannot say that they are perfect. They say,
Dr. Adamu, you agree with him?
Yeah. Let me just.
What he needs to recall is, in the case of Katsina case and Rivers case, in regard to Amechi,
yes,
the parties submitted the names of candidates before the election. But this time around in Zamfara, APC did not submit any person's name before the deadline. And INEC was able to print APC's logo on the ballot, relying on the High Court judgment in Zamfara. And if that judgment is annulled, then INEC has no basis to support the inclusion of APC in the election. And if that is void, and then automatically whatever they got is trashed. And you cannot go to World Cup without you qualifying in the first place. So you cannot play at all. So the player is disqualified. So now we have to look at other players and see who scored the highest vote, and then declare him as a winner. There are a lot of litigation going to come up as a result of this.
You have made very interesting points, and it will be very interesting to see how it plays out, not just in Zamfara, but even what legal practitioners think about it, and perhaps how this can strengthen our electoral processes. I mean, reduce the wranglings before and after the elections. But gentlemen, thank you for coming on Sunrise Daily. We've been speaking with Honorable Aminu Jaji, who's a former APC governorship aspirant in Zamfara. So you did try to be governor. And he's currently chairman, House Committee on Security. And we also had with us Dr. Ahmed Adamu, who is a special advisor to Atiku Abubakar on youth and strategy. Well, that's where we wrap it up for Sunrise Daily this morning, at least from our Abuja studios. We don't know what Chamberlain and the crew still have for you, but thank you for watching. And Maokwe Ogun Yusuf is back to you, Chamberlain.
Well, yes, and they will only have to say goodbye. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
And that the views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.